People engaged, it's time for dueling decades. The Matrix and Blade versus Bloodsport and Renegade. Strap on that cap, bust out the power glove. Come fight for what you love.
Dueling decades.
Poop culture, popping pins, dropping hand grenades. Van Halen locked in Mortal Kombat with David Gray. Banner Ballet and Sick, Iron Maiden, GNR. Come fight for what you love.
Dueling decades.
All right, so score's 2-0, like Mark was saying. Mark, this one's tough for me because I kind of want to go with hot products here, but I think it's probably wise if we do music or movies here.
All right. Why don't we go with music?
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, you start off.
All right. I'll start this one off. On February 6, 1989, we saw the legendary Bob Dylan release a collaborative album that fans have been waiting to hear for decades. Although it was just another live Bob Dylan album, his backing band this time consisted of Bob Weir, Brett Midland, Phil Lesh, Bill Kreutzmann, Mickey Hart, and Jerry Garcia, better known as the Grateful Dead. Dylan and the Dead was recorded during the group's successful stadium tour, and the album consists of 7 of the more popular songs from that tour, which featured songs written and sung by Dylan himself, as the Dead providing a backup band, creating a fuller sound, allowing more room and for ample experimentation on stage. The album reached number 37 on the Billboard charts, earning it gold certification. That was all started February 6, 1989, with the release of Dylan and the Dead.
All right, big fans of it. I see everybody's really excited.
I'm holding in my excitement.
Mark mentioning the Grateful Dead. You know, it has to happen every episode.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, Mark, here's yours. I didn't even ask him if he wanted it or not. It's like, here, this is yours. Take it. And now he doesn't want to talk to us. We love him.
No, I mean, it's a great album, and people had for years had been wanting to see Dylan and the Dead collaborate. The Dead had always been big fans of Dylan, going back to the 60s. Of course, they share the same musical spaces, and the Dead always covered Dylan's songs. So it was just a natural pairing for them finally to get together. And when you look at it at the context of the 80s, this was really at the end of Bob Dylan's popularity. His last few albums were not very popular. They didn't like his 80s sound. Now, the Grateful Dead had just come out with Touch of Grey and that album, and that was their first big hit in the 80s. So it was kind of, they were at opposite ends of their career at the time. So it was a really interesting collaboration. I don't know if it was perfectly executed, but I'm glad it happened, and it was a monumental album.
I just remember being really disappointed to find out that this wasn't the soundtrack to some amazing zombie film where Dylan went around the wastelands of America. I'm gonna hit you with my guitar. Walking dead motherfuckers
in the water.
We've all got a disease. That would be amazing.
You're
That
actually
would be
thinking of
amazing.
Dylan McDermott in the Dead. That didn't come out for another.
Oh yeah, no, that was a bit longer. Yeah. Or Dylan Thomas and the Dead. It's just a really miserable drunk Welshman. Constantly sits in the corner mumbling about blackness and the disparity of the universe. And meanwhile, zombies eat his wife or something.
Man, that sounds better than the album. I'm going to follow suit, though. February 7th, 1989. I'm also going to go with a live album of sorts. The third studio album from Two Live Crew was released. The album, As Nasty as They Want to Be, would go on to be double platinum and the largest of Two Live Crew's career, obviously. And a small side note here, it was also the first Southern rap album to go platinum. Big ups to them for that. But let's look at the track listing for this album real quick. We had, of course, Me So Horny, which is the single everybody knew from that. You had Put Her in the Buck, Dick Almighty, Come On Babe, Dirty Nursery Rhymes, Break It On Down, Two Live Blues, and this is where it starts to get good. I Ain't Bullshitting, Get Loose Now, The Fuck Shop, personal favorite of mine.
Yes.
If You Believe in Having Sex, My Seven Bizzos, Get the Fuck Out of My House, Reggae Joint, Fraternity Record, Badass Bitch, Megamix 3, and Coolin'. And I'll say, if you've never heard this album, go to Spotify. If it's even on there, and
It
you need to
is.
listen. Okay, you need to listen to this for a multitude of reasons. All right. One being the lyrics. And you have to keep in mind, this is 1989, 30 years ago to this month. And it's still a pretty damn bad album in 2019 when you think of what's the content of this album. And keep in mind, this album went double platinum. Okay. So listen to this verse from The Fuck Shop. All right. If anybody wants a beatbox in the background, feel free. Please come inside. Make yourself at home. I want to fuck because my dick's on bone. You little whore behind closed doors. You would drink my cum and nothing more. Now spread your wings and open for flight. Let me fill you up with something milky and white. Because I'm hoping to slay you, rough and painful. You innocent bitch. Don't be shameful. Break out the ice cubes in the hot water. This is the second half, not the second quarter. I'll fuck you till you sleep. You'll sleep like a baby. And in your dreams, you'll say I'm crazy. In the fuck shop. All right.
Wow.
So weird. My uncle wrote almost something very similar in my birthday card this year.
I think most of that. Yeah, I think most of that though is taken out of context.
If you haven't heard the
people don't understand the allegory he's talking about there. Yeah.
Right.
All right. I'm not finished. Let me get through. So the second one, obviously, if you never heard Be So Horny, go listen to it for that. I'm getting a cramp here because I'm sick and probably dehydrated. But, oh, God, it hurts. The third reason is that this is the first album in history to be deemed legally obscene. The then Florida governor, Bob Martinez, and the late Broward County Sheriff, Nick Navarro, and even Vice President Dan Quayle at the time, they spearheaded a campaign to have As Nasty As They Want to be outlawed. And in 1990, a year after the album dropped, and generated a storm of controversy, the Broward County judge deemed the record obscene. And that gave Navarro license to arrest the local record store owners and employees if they sold the album. They also arrested Luther Campbell from Two Live Crew after they performed some songs at a Hollywood nightclub. Obviously, they were eventually acquitted of all charges. But, you know, this is most likely the reason today's musicians can make sexually explicit lyrics or just fucked up lyrics in general and without fear of being prosecuted. Even that goes for podcasts, too.
Right.
I mean, this is huge in terms of...
I mean, also, there shouldn't be any censorship in the U.S. anyway. There never... I mean, there has been, but there never was traditionally or historically. It's normally censored by money. So in other words, radios won't play your stuff or cinemas won't show your movie or whatever. It's normally deemed by capitalism rather than by an actual censor group or whatever.
Right. And then back then, I'm sure you guys all remember, if you bought a CD or a tape or something and it had explicit lyrics, it had that sticker.
Yep.
Right on.
I only bought CDs with that on it. Just
don't give me that clean shit.
Yeah.
Well, it got to a point where people were just doing just enough to get the sticker label because albums were selling more with the sticker.
Right, just the tip.
So they'd put in, you know, just they'd say shit once in a song just to get the sticker.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But that's mine. February 7th, 1989, the release of As Nasty As They Want to Be.
Great album. Great album.
Only in Florida, though, right? Like in Florida, where just insanity reigns, do they go, yeah, I know, but the lyrics to this song is just too much.
Maybe they thought it was going to get worse.
Yeah.
You can butt-ass naked wrestle an alligator while you're also shitting out a baby while, I don't know, in front of some bearded quadriplegics. But if you say come or fuck, then you better watch out or whatever. Yeah, totally weird. I love this country.
At least they won. At least
no. Well, they would have to with freedom of speech. You'd have to.
All right, what do you guys have?
Over to you, Mike.
Oh, I'll take it. On February 12th, 1990, MC Hammer released the album Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em. Featuring the hit single You Can't Touch This, the album spent 21 weeks on the Billboard 200 and peaked at #1 on the hip-hop and R&B charts. The album is widely thought to be one of the most pivotal in bringing hip-hop to a wider audience and is the first hip-hop album to reach diamond status. When Hammer later declared bankruptcy, word spread that he would often be seen on the streets of Oakland singing Have You Seen Her, presumably referring to his former bank account, while children repeatedly pegged him with fists full of popcorn chicken.
Oh, please.
And that's
Hammer,
it for
don't
news, Bo.
Oh, it's music.
Wow.
Music news.
That works. It works the same. All right, gentlemen, let me paint a picture here for you. Let me set the scene. The date is February 22nd, 1990. Across the spanned wings of the most majestic bald eagle, flying out of the gates of hell, a supergroup, the likes of which have never been seen before, is assembling. That group, Damn Yankees. Their self-titled debut album, Damn Yankees, released February 22nd, 1990, certified double platinum in the U.S., featuring such chart-topping hits as High Enough, Come Again, and Coming of Age. More coming than you can shake a stick at. The band featured Tommy Shaw of Styx, Ted Nugent, Jack Blades of Night Ranger, and Michael Cardelloni, who spent time with Ted Nugent, John Fogerty, and later Lynyrd Skynyrd. Coming of Age hit number 1 on the Rock Trucks. I'm having a stroke, gentlemen. Coming of Age hit number 1 on the U.S. mainstream rock tracks chart. Come Again peaked at number 5, and High Enough would reach number 2. The former also made a prominent spot on the Monster Ballads commercial.
I'm
Yes,
shocked
it
that
did.
High Enough wasn't a number 1 hit.
Well, it made it high enough. That is my pick, the self-titled
not
debut from
realize
Damn Yankees.
Coming of Age was that popular.
Yeah,
I
didn't
remember
either.
it
I
being
always, yeah.
number 1. Wow.
Wow.
Numero uno.
She's coming of age.
I don't even know that song off that album. I only know Can You Take Me Higher? You know,
What?
from the Monster Ballads commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you know that song if it was. You want me to sing it for you?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me some bars.
Here's the stage. No?
No, it's not coming back to me, man. Sorry.
Can't help it. She's coming of age. No? I sound just like him. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I think we should stop this right away. It's disappointing this round because normally when I look at music made in the month that we're talking about or the year that we're talking about, there's normally at least 3 or 4 albums where I'm just like, what the hell is that? And it's just some random thing. There really isn't anything like that. I mean, 1990, February especially, solid month for music of all different types. Some great albums came out. And 1989, less albums in that February of 1989, but still some classics. You've got Elvis Costello's Spike, which was one of his big releases. You've got Mystery Girl, which was released by Roy Orbison posthumously, but featured all the crew from his Black and White Night, basically, along with Bono and The Edge writing one of his big hits. But he's working with Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and T-Bone Burnett and George Harrison and all sorts of people on that album. And that was huge. That did really well. There are no funny ones that I can really mention from either months, which is very, very disappointing. So let's just move straight over to the judge's ruling then on this. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, just because I feel like every game we should award them at least 1 round. We're going to go with the after-school special and February of 1990. Sorry, Mark, to dash your Dylan and the Dead hopes, my friend. And as nasty as they want to be, as pivotal as it was, and as important as it was, and as groundbreaking as it was for all the legal things, I can't say that it's an album that now in 2019, apart from us, anyone's talking about. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. Whereas I feel like MC Hammer Can't Touch This is just forever. I think it's forever a rock that America will wear around its neck. And those big, enormous trousers.
Not willingly.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't say willingly. I'm just saying in terms of pop culture relevance.
All right,
Yeah.
I think you may be the first person ever in history that I've heard refer to MC Hammer's pants as trousers.
Trousers. Well, that's the proper word for them.
Parachute trousers.
Parachute.
Right. Parachute trousers.
Yeah, and I think while I'm not a fan of his music, his trousers should at least be celebrated on an international scale.
Dueling decades.